Right, a lot of introductions on me, right? But I probably say I'm an urban Excel. So I would thank my Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu to give an opportunity to an urban Excel to participate in the electoral process. I'll thank my Thousand Lights constituency people, right? They voted me in favor of against Kushbu. They gave him an imagined difference of 34,000 votes ahead of Kushbu to a doctor who's practicing with them. I'm just trying to cite as an example, that's a maturity of democracy, right? You may be a very famous person, but electorally, Tamil Nadu votes, nee local ala, are you a local person? Are you going to treat me? Doctor, you treated us, right? Come on, treat us in a civic way. So, I'm a headache to the system, right? I'm an accident, right? See, many of the panelists who spoke here, they were asking for your participation. They're asking for your contributions. Come on, guys, new gen city, new generation. One question you have to ask them back, is politics is conducive for us? Are we allowed to participate in local body elections? Are we having the financials to participate in election? You are hearing from the devil's mouth. Because I suffer the same pain. See, we have a chief minister with Dravidian ethos. I belong to a Dravidian ethos family, doctor, social activist, right? But letting him in to stand in electoral process, I was like clueless. My entire life, I would not handle so much financials. It would be a life-saving for my entire profession. One day affair for an electoral process. The process to undergo the nuisance of it. It's a pathway smooth. A democracy is smooth. So first we'll pay way for democratic participation. Then we'll talk about the next step, right? So with that point said, my friends, what's the relevance of any conference as such? See, we all sit together, we bring in experts, Christ Institution with integration of Mandava Foundation. What is the outcome? We all listen, yes, something has to be done, put in our heads and go back and carry with the routine work. That pattern of necessity of conference changed. My father was an economics professor in Madras University. I was a medical college student. I had my MBBS and MD in Madras Medical College. So I participated in one conference as a PG student, as a spectator as you, listening to the process of various presentations. There was one doctor, cardiologist, Dr. Victor Solomon. He came up with a community cardiology program. In around, I'm saying in the times of, say, 98, 99 period, where a rheumatic heart disease problem around 30% in Tamil Nadu. What is rheumatic heart disease? See, kids suffer from upper respiratory tract infection. They'll have some migratory joint pains. And if they are not intervened at a particular point of time by a course of a penicillin tablets, the same infection affects your heart valves. So the heart valves becomes shrunken. And at the age of the middle age, or the productive age, they have valvular heart disease. 1 or 2, 3 valves will be affected in the heart, and they succumb to it. So Dr. Victor Solomon came up with the solution in that conference. Not a such huge number, not an air-conditioned hall in Madras University. It's a small hall or limited of 50 to 100 people. So Victor Solomon presented to the economics department, to the students and the faculty there. See, if a school teacher detects a particular kid with a fever, with joint pains, let the school teacher give him a course of penicillin tablets. Or if the school teacher is not entitled to give penicillin tablets, let them give an yellow card. So with that yellow card, let the school children go to the nearby primary health center. Or the school health program where doctors come into the government schools to see the yellow card students and prescribe penicillin tablets. So simple, when you intervene, so the incidence of rheumatic heart disease will come down. This was a policy making note he gave at the conference. The economics professor of Madras University, my dad, was actually a walking friend with our late Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Kalaignar. So he told this proposal to Kalaignar in his walking routine. The CM, a former CM Kalaignar Karunanidhi, saw this as a policy. He called upon the health minister. He called up the school health minister. He formulated the secretaries there. They all sat together. He called up Dr. Victor Solomon. He called up the economics professor of Madras University. They sat together. 45 minutes discussion, how to implement it. Karnadi himself is an artist. He formulated, we given a yellow card to make it significant. So we'll formulate a yellow card, name, all caption, so that with this yellow card will be a license for the kid to receive penicillin tablets. It's a 45 minutes intervention which happened. So this Tittami, known as Varvadi Tittam, means life-giving program for the kid. So it was implemented in Tamil Nadu in all primary health centers, in all school health programs. Patients dying out of rheumatic heart diseases, patients waiting list in the government hospital for valve replacement surgeries. In 2021, it has reduced to 0.9%. For us, a rheumatic heart disease is an exam case for a medical college student. Now medical college students are rushing. We don't have any rheumatic heart disease case in Tamil Nadu. Because of why? Because there was an intersurface between these type of conference with the policymakers. Right? So then only all the ideas which have been generated here, discussed here, will convert into action. Suppose if there's no communication between the academia or within the students, with the policymakers, then all our efforts are going for a ritual. It's a ritual. We also conducted one conference. You also participated, and we buzz off, right? So, suppose, since they're called in our open a politician to do so, I'm the only political class representing the political thing of entire India. As an MLA, I'm standing here. I have learned a lot of cues from here as a student. I have learned how a new gen city should be developed. So, listening to the lectures here, I'm in the policy-making body. I'm able to shape up what all cues this conference can give me in order to uplift a generation of cities in my state. A lot of valid points from different spectra was received. I'm a gainer today. I gained a lot in your campus, with a wonderful campus. What you are to gain? Suppose if you're going to be a civil society aspirant, you're going to be an IAS officer, an IPS officer, or just like me, passing the crisis of standing in an election, if you're able to become a politician or a MLA or even a councillor or even a mayor, this memory of this particular conference will be instilled in you. Somewhere down the line, you are able to reach one point which makes intangible benefit to the masses, just like that. See, a simple university conference, a simple walking conversation, a simple CM table conversation for 45 minutes, it's changed the lives of lakhs and lakhs of people in Tamil Nadu. Right? That's the power of this parliamentary democracy. I can make an impact just like that, not an individual help, one or two. If the right persons are there at the right point of time, at the right decision-making body, the benefits are surmountable. But the problem is getting the right person at the right point of time, at the right position. That's a problem we have. That's a system problem we have. It's everywhere. So with that course correction, today I'm going to discuss certain avenues, what all discussed in the panel discussion. Did my Chennai city adapt to that model? So with this intro, all is necessary in this country is political will, an informed policymaker who has understood the ground realities of implementing the program, getting cues and feedback from academia and conferences like this, getting information, vital information from student or younger generation like this, making them everything on board, coupling with the policy-making body, coupling with the finance, allowing the executive to work in that same fashion, with the same chemistry, bringing the entire bout of the hierarchical bureaucracy system to adapt to it and implement it. Oops. Did this happen in Tamil Nadu? Or Chennai? It's the next 20 minutes of the discussion is going to happen there. So, what is urbanization? Right? Simple. Whatever things you add on, adjectives you add on, like road, town planning, blah, blah, blah. See, urbanization, where did it start? How did it start? We all riverbed civilization, we evolved. When man, I would say, when man indicates both genders. I would say when a Homo sapien, as a biologically, when a Homo sapien thought, I need to have toilets, that's what urbanization started. Simple. When a Homo sapien decided to construct toilets, that is where the starting point of urbanization. So I've seen these two pictures. No, this is familiar pictures in history textbooks in 8th standard. One is Harappa Mohenjo-daro civilization, which was a proto-Dravidian civilization, which dates back around 3,000 years, 4,000 years back. It's a structure of urbanization. So in Harappa Mohenjo-daro, they had toilets, they had a Pakka drainage system. They had two structures, which is known as citadels, where the rulers will be there on the west side, and they had low-lying lands where people will be there on the east side. So in Tamil we say Merku means Mela, which is up. Then east means Kirakku, means Kire. So this structure is a part of an earliest urban planning, where even in primitive years, we were civilized to have a drainage system, we had a citadel of administration, we had a low-lying plains of people administering up, right? Coming to the other part of the slide, that's our Kiradi excavation which is going on in Tamil Nadu. We had a carbon dating which dates back our excavations to 6th century BC. 6th century BC, where we declared this site as to be the renowned archaeological site, excavations going on. Every structure unearthed from this concept, right, it's a mark of urbanization. There was a local administration, coins being made, kids were like playing with chess-like instruments, drainage system, administrative capital, everything was there. In 6th century BC, we had a component of urbanization, the mechanism of urbanization, some rules, regulations if you followed. So that is there in everyone's memory. Some of the panel speakers talk about we are being influenced by the West for urbanization ideas. Actually, West learned from the East, right? That's the thing. West learned from the East, and they packaged us so it is acceptable to us, right? Because of the influence, various influences. So it's like a U-turn now. Now in Chennai or in Tamil Nadu, so yeah, West influences are there, but we have our own tendencies to adapt, right? Now came in between the medieval period, like Dark Ages, priestly class dominated. Then we have rural population, villages were developed, villages structures, colonies, untouchables were separated, riverside was separating, separate burial ground, all type of discrimination layered on, moved away our memory from this. So both Harappa Mohenjo-daro and Kiradi excavation was an egalitarian population. But somewhere down the line, when the egalitarian population gets disturbed into a graded hierarchy system, the demarcation in a village concept took place. We had a agricultural village, then we had a colony. All untouchables will be there, separated, demarcated. So that system was very prevalent in the entire part. So whoever revolted against the system were called rebels, naturally. Who were revolted against the system, who vouched for equality, they were part. But how far it has been integrated to urbanization, because predominantly social reformers were vouching for urbanizations because come out of the shackles from the villages, come out of the clutches from the discrimination, so they pushed socially or recollected or evoked the memory of the people of urbanization and pushed them. So these are the ancient towns. This is our social reformer. A time would come when there will be no villages. There we have a father of a nation, Mahatma Gandhi, was talking about village republics, who told our village republics to be the center of administration, all this stuff. But here we have a social reformer who says villages should disappear. Villages are structures of primitivity. Villages have nothing to do with modernity. All type of and there's caste killings, everything is happening in villages. Now we are going to talk about a new gen city from that type of a local population. So all our social reformers were acting like this. This was a quote from Dr. Ambedkar. What is a village but a sink of localism, den of eagerness, narrowness, mindedness, and communalism? So what has done because of the social reformers, right? They pushed one segment of villages towards a town, towards urbanized areas. So any history, if you're able to analyze how the cities developed, the background is this. Whether it's going to be Chennai or any of the cities you see, it's the oppression which is there in the villages. They want to move out, they migrate to the cities. So our oppressors, our victims of caste system are the forefathers in the city and everywhere in India. They are the forefathers. They are the ancestors. They are the city builders. When the East India Company came, British started ruling this country. All the priestly class in the villages thought, we should go near to the power. What's the point being in villages? Then they sold land at a cheaper rates to the villages there, to the intermediate caste. They migrated the city to be with the power. So one segment is due to discrimination that they drive out to the cities in India. Then the other segment, we have to be close to the citadels of power. So they came to the cities. So we have two extreme forms. One are priestly upper class migrating towards the cities from the villages to co-opt with the power. One due to discrimination. With these two structures, each and every city developed by default setting. That's why in a shape like India, right, when you can't compare with any other nations, because any other nations in Europe, in America, each one will have their structurally cultural history to understand the cities. But while city development or NEWGEN cities, we have to understand this dynamics, how the city was formed, how the cities were developed. An Indian story, 100 story, which can't be described or seen in your textbooks, how the cities were formed. Each and every city is an outcome of these two migrations. Okay. So the urbanization component, because I belong to a party which is evolved from Dravidian ethos. We had a social movement first, then it became to electoral politics. We had primary structures of social justice, linguistic rights, state federalism, and Tamil modernity based on rationalism, right? I'm an atheist basically. So you find many number of atheists in our political system, in my party. So we had four types of scientific temper, Tamil modernity, social justice, federalism as a foundation. That was the politics happening in Tamil Nadu. And that politics of the particular DMK system became the politics of Tamil Nadu. So if you hear voices of reservation, Tamil Nadu. If you hear the voices of linguistic identity, anti-indigetation, Tamil Nadu. If you hear voices of federalism, stating for state rights, state autonomy, Tamil Nadu. With this value stream, various policymakers came into play, converted these virtues into the political system and administrative system of Tamil Nadu. That's a success story. You know what is the first electoral victory of DMK? We were talking about local governance presence here. DMK is the first political party. First, it had its debut in Chennai mayor elections. We won our Chennai mayor. That's the first electoral victory. Such amount of urbanization component, progressive component was a starting point. So all the policy making when we came back to power were diverted for an urbanization project with inclusive development. All our strategies of modernity were to involve the entire segment of the people. See, when there is a discrimination in the population, right, it is a grid hierarchy system. Any intervention you do, like in health, or city development, or urbanization, or education, if that egalitarian system is not available, all the benefits of the government projects will be reached up to the people at the top. It won't percolate down. So when you have a civil society reformation, in order to equalize such strategies, right, then if any intervention from the government in the form of NEWGEN cities, or education, or health, or development, it will be uniformly distributed. So Indian policymakers failed to understand this. Very few understood this. So that's why we are struggling with our rural population. We are struggling about our doctor population ratio. We are struggling about our electrification of villages because all the budget went into, all the policy went into, without this egalitarian concept, were reaped up only the upper layer, not the downward layer. So we were conscious about it. So any type of development projects should be viewed from down under rather than viewing from up. So these are the various urbanization, uniform urbanization. So here one of our panel speakers were talking about only Bangalore developed or Maharashtra only Mumbai developed. But in Tamil Nadu, we were able to see the local villages, the township areas, and certain upgraded towns escalated to become urbanized. It's not only Chennai, it's Tamil Nadu, right? If you're able to travel to any of the cities now, you'll have access to healthcare, education institutions, to resources for the internet connection, electrification, everything. But it didn't happen in a day, one day or two, right? It needs a lot of political will in this parliamentary democracy to convert that into reality. So these are the various parts of Tamil Nadu. I would say the mapping of urbanization. The red says indication of urbanization. You see the Thoothukudi port. We have an excellent Thoothukudi port down south of Tamil Nadu. You see central part of Madurai and towns surrounding it. This is an agricultural agrarian Kaveri Delta where you see the urbanization component taking place. See how it's increased surmountably. This is the western belt, which is near to your Bangalore, Coimbatore, Tirupur, and Erode. We have Coimbatore, which is equivalent to Chennai, even in medical healthcare also, or industries also. This urbanization component, which I belong to from Chennai, which has surmountably increased over a period of time. We have limitations. One side is a coastal area. We can't expand on that area, right? Or we can't go at the top. Andhra Pradesh is there. So urbanization is happening towards down south and internal aspects of Tamil Nadu. Okay, so when did it start? See, as I told you with the Dravidian ethos, Kalaignar, or Karunanidhi, who was a chief minister in 71, first he started something on link roads. Someone talked about road connectivity, which is the essential component for a NEWGEN city. In 71, link roads for all the villages having a population of 1,500 was started. So people have to move out. People have to do business out. They have to connect, right? So link roads were essential. So in 2023, we have about 2.7 lakh kilometers of road network, as you see. The road density, you see the numbers are way higher than the national average. So these are the various data of state highways. So even though when we participated in union governments, like NDA 1, UPA 1, UPA 2, DMK was a member, the regional attraction, each and every union minister have seen that Tamil Nadu is getting benefited out of any major projects. So that strive was always there. You mean it was a selfish attitude, you may see. But if union minister participate in a cabinet, what has happened, right? So they have diverted the funds to Tamil Nadu for infrastructure development. So coming to Greater Chennai, public transport. The voices I heard from here, there was a considerable reduction in bus routes, right? So these are government-run public transport system. We have 471 bus routes, around 387 kilometers. See, the interior roads are very much well connected. Chennai is a land of bridges, right? So what Kalaignar thought, right? What we do, we give homage to our ancestors, to our founding fathers by doing projects. Kalaignar dedicated this flyover in 1973 to the founding member of our party, Aringaranna, who vouched for Tamil modernity and autonomy. He dedicated the form of a bridge. So this bridge was constructed in the year 1973. This is the longest bridge at that point of time with 1,599 square feet. Till now, it is in my constituency in Thousand Lights, Anna flyover. It carries 9 crore vehicles per year. So that night has started, no. Then the bridges, whenever DMK comes to power, they construct bridges. This was a coalition of the union government project, the Katibara Junction project you see, the Clover Bridge, which we acclaim. These are the bridges data. So around 1,39,287 different type of bridges are there within the urbanization component of down south of entire state. This one is in Tirunelveli, constructed in 1973. So someone they told you about the importance of local governance, right? So I told our party started with participating in mayoral elections. So our present chief minister, M.K. Stalin, was a mayor of Tamil Nadu from 96 to 2001. So he took the cues from his father that our roads needs bridges. So during that point of time, he constructed around 9 bridges. within a span of 5 years, imagine a local body, a mayor, local governance was able to construct 9 bridges. Now we are conducting 4 more now in our Chennai city now, which is completely handled by, not by the state government, which is completely handled over the Greater Chennai Corporation. So the bridges in Chennai, see, the city administration maintains around 283 bridges. That's amount of weightage we give to our local governance, right? That amount, the importance we give to the local bodies formation. The bus route, right? So we were the first state to start nationalization of the bus services. Private sector were charging huge tickets. The routes were limited. So Tamil Nadu government took up the privatization into a nationalization project to serve the community and to increase the network. And this is a public transport corporation. We are around 20,670 buses, covering around 60.25 lakh people. So now there's a bus scheme, no. Now our present government, what it did, they introduced a gender justice equation. We made all bus rides free for women population in Tamil Nadu, for the working class women, for the studying women. Everyone thought it's a freebie, because we have been questioned for our freebies, right? Tamil Nadu always. Everyone thought it was a freebie, but since from Planning Commission, we did a study about the outcome of this freebie. Suppose a working mother, I'm not talking about the service color jobs, I'm talking about a working mother going to an household work, or going to a market to sell vegetables, or going to a fish mart to sell fishes. So the working mother was able to save around rupees 880 rupees per month because of the intervention. And where they're investing? They're investing in their childhood education. Monthly around 800 to 1,000 rupees have been invested in a child education. So how come a bus policy, which was nationalized, we have the huge number of infrastructure, huge number of buses, the rides were already happening, and it converted into a social intervention. And that intervention is impacting the education in a positive way down. So in Tamil Nadu, how the various infrastructure or ideation on NEWGEN cities, any policy making should reach the lower segment of the population. Then only it's a NEWGEN, right? So these are the various land housing policy we started. See, I told you, I gave an historical foundation prior about migration of oppressed people to the cities. Where did they settle down? They settled down in slums, right? In slums along the Kuam riverbed, Adyar riverbed. There were huts. There were huge number of fire accidents in those huts. So lot of huts were developed, were formed, proliferated. So what happened? Again, Kalaignar in the year 1973, our CM started something called Slum Clearance Board, way ahead in 1973. So the plan is to convert all the houses into concrete houses, into a flat type of system. So all the huts were replaced into a flat type of system. You know at what rates he gave? 45 rupees at that point in time, 45 rupees in center of Chennai with a huge blooming real estate, 45 rupees per unit, and for 40 years they have to pay rupees 20. 2016 square feet with the attached facility of bathroom, bedroom, hall, and various amenities. So if you see, when I went for election, because Thousand Lights has a maximum number of slum boards in a constituency elsewhere in India. I have around say 34 slum board tenements, around 55,000 people are living in habitat board. The voters, they are the voters who voted for me, rather than to Khushbu, right? So they actually come to vote. They actually come to vote, right? They are my people. So now, they are, well, if you see the photographs of their grandfathers, they'll be in huts. This particular boy will be a small boy who will be a peon or the other segment or a bus driver or a bus conductor. If he'll share me the photographs, sir, we are in this Kudusai house, sir, for long. Whenever my father came from this district, from that district, we were in houses like this. So what we did, Kalaignar decided, or our government decided, do away with all this Dairavis type. Give them an affordable, self-respect housing. So we created an housing policy for the people who came from the villages, from the shackles of oppression, we provided them with dignity, slumbound tenements. We had a policy for that. The policy was followed up and implemented. Now in 2023, I would proudly say that all the houses were constructed in 73. Now it's 50 years. All buildings are falling down. I had a close interaction to our chief minister that we have to construct new houses for my people. Previous regiments had a policy to move the people from the center of the city to the periphery. See, for 3 generations, they are there. Their school is there. Their hospital is there. Livelihood is there. Shifting these people out to the peripheries, it's a killer policy, right? They are the working class of my NEWGEN city. They are the housekeeping of my NEWGEN city. They are the nurses of my hospitals, right? They are the safety security guards of the huge buildings which have been constructed. So my potential is to give them a sustainable urban livelihood environment to that spot. So we are planning a huge intervention of constructing newer houses. You know what's the cost? If a flat in 1,000 lights constitutes a private flat is equal to 65 lakh rupees, around 400 square feet. You know what's the cost we are giving to the people? 1.5 lakh. Just 1.5 lakh of 300 square feet of new building are to be distributed to the people. Construction is going on. Because I told my people, I can't come up in stairs to ask for votes. I have to come in lift to ask for votes for the next time. So that's my challenge. So that's challenge I have to overcome the bureaucratic overtones. I have to overcome the sophisticated city planners who want to keep the city clean by moving away the people to the periphery. Who want to construct big citadel structures in the name of NEWGEN or new generation or modern city. No. The modernization is here. Because his father was a day cage laborer. His father was a peon. Now they have become graduates, the other generation. They have become first-time graduates because of the reservation policy of the social justice movement of Tamil Nadu. So the livelihood has to be increased. So there, the inclusive development takes place. So we provided education institutions. From 1957, see the minuscule number of education institutions in Tamil Nadu in 1957. But now, we have huge number of government-run institutions. Around 59 universities are government-run. Arts and science colleges are 1,555 in various sectors, you see. It's a composite. We have the highest gross enrollment ratio, right? So we have our students to be educated, socially economic poor background, scholarship programs. Now we have a scheme called 7.5 reservation. Any kid studying in a government school, who will study in a government school, man? People with the lower socioeconomic strata. They have given 7.5% inner reservation in postgraduate and colleges institute. We have a special scheme called Pudumai Pen. Come on, welcome girl, come to study. So any girl studying 6th to 12th standard in government school are paid ₹1,000 per month for the entire college career. It's a freebie. Do you think it's a freebie? It's an utmost welfare program to make our state a gender neutral state. We have started the early morning breakfast scheme also. Now we have issues of talent orientation. So we started something called skilling development program. We have collaborated with Tata to start our government polytechnic institutes to have access to technology like laser printing, 3D technology and anything. Coming to the industrial growth, someone tells industries, potential, no? See, globalization was there, man. I understand. See, globalization component started in Tamil Nadu 1971. We had industrial corridors, we had textile corridors, we had manufacturing corridors, each placed. Now what is happening now? After globalization, with the education, with the technical personal education, what we have done, we have adapted globalization. We are not resisting globalization, as Kerala did. Sorry, my friends. We co-opted globalization. We see that the benefits of globalization percolated to the backward classes, scheduled class, scheduled tribe, women under. So this was the IT corridor developed because of the IT policy. So we are talking about self-sustainability, right? So it's from the base. So urbanization has layers in education component, road network, entrepreneurship development. It has already been done in various policy making note and converted into reality. So this is a new venture we started, Startup TN, for the incubation cell we have in your particular institute. This is a startup, the incubation cell of Tamil Nadu. So registrations are peaking up post-COVID situation. All entrepreneurs have been nurtured and been carried to the next step. See, these are the various pet projects which I developed in my constituency, but I don't want to bore you down with those intricate details because I'm going to develop a complete pedestrian plaza, adaptation for the population. We're going to enlarge the sewer lines. So we are upgrading on the existing templates. So a lot of civil society groups were here, right? They were saying that we don't have particular intersurface to the government, right? It is easy for a politician like me to work with civil society groups, right? I always intersurface the bureaucrat and the civil society groups and come in a common platform. I have morning rounds with officials to the spot. If association comes in, a civil society comes in, the intersurface or interaction is very much there. It's good that that type of orientation and things with startup. Yes, we are with challenges. It's not all glossy, good picture, right? See, the urbanization is happening in a default manner, as huge as Bangalore said. Even we have a similar population of 1.6 crores. We are not thinking in lines of environment now. Climatic change impact, greenhouse gas emissions, water burst showers flooding us, a dry period of heavy heat waves. So no policy intervention have to be converted. We have to take into account the climatic change which is happening. At one point of time, we are talking about NEWGEN cities. The NEWGEN cities should incorporate all, but the most important component, the NEWGEN cities should consider the climatic change happening in our globe. We are exposed to burst showers, just like that fills up. Now we have spent huge amount of financials in stormwater drains. But what is happening to the source? We are proliferating industries, leaving out carbon emissions. What about the mitigation? That's a huge challenge that we are trying to encourage, try to take into a huge amount of consideration in Tamil Nadu policy making bodies. Yeah, now huge challenge. Well, we had Srinivasan talk about finances. With this note, I'd like to complete. See, we have to understand that we are a federal country, man. We are a federal setup. It's a union of states. Each state has its own culture, has its own methodology to improve, right? You can have not a single rule to be sitting in Delhi and imposing on us. That shouldn't happen. I'm saying you are not against India, man. The 19 bureaucratic departments sitting in Delhi are against India, right? How come an IAS officer sitting in an AC room in New Delhi can work a policy in a Dharmaburi district in Tamil Nadu or a Kanyakumari district in Tamil Nadu? So decentralization is the thing for even development of cities. The cues, the inputs are from the local people, are from the local players in this, right? But here we have a country which grabs powers from the state. Power mongering. Okay, you do power mongering. Okay, man. Srinivas was talking about the Financial Commission. Does that Financial Commission is doing justice? It's based on 1971 population, man. If it comes to 2011 population, if they're going to change, we won't get anything, man. Only 4 states will suck everything. Then how to develop an economic productivity? Here, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, we have become productive states. On our own. It's from our own, right? We are contributing to the system of this country's development. All our income taxes. We have converted all our informal people into formal sector, educated agriculture laborers into a tax-paying citizen. But where does the entire income tax goes? To the center. Where does the entire GST goes? A part comes to us. The way the state living tax property is gone. Now they have a formula, man. That formula was, Srinivas was describing. The formula gives more weightage to population, man. We adopted a national population policy. Our representation rate is gone now. Because we are sincere policy for the country, we adopted a very good population control policy. But it's that a punishment for me now. When the weightage of the financial allocation, the predominant weightage goes for the highly populated state. They're giving 65% weightages. What other weightages? Forest cover. Then they also give weightages for underdevelopment. How long? 75 years independence, man. How long? How long? How long I have to bear the weight? Right? I have to bear the weight of the contribution. Because now I'm planning for a city in a local governance, anyway, tailored down to finances. I have to allocate fund. For climatic mitigation, I have to allocate fund. All the state funds are crunched. It's a state government which is near to the people. It's a local governments are near to the people. All your welfare schemes, questions asked, it's from the local people. All the civil society activists are asking, go, come on, cash hold of the call of the local councillor, cash hold of the MLA. Boss, come on. We are financially crunched. The state is financially crunched. Our fiscal deficit ratio is in the huge gap. Why? Because the proper distribution of financial allocation is not based on any scientific principles in this country. That's the reason. We are moving away from a federal structure to the unitary structure, man. So we should ask, yes, boss, we are contributing to you. You handle external affairs, you handle defense, you handle all the currency, financial issues. Why the hell you want to poke your nose in agriculture? Why you want to poke your nose in local administration? Why you want to poke your nose in education? Why you want to poke your nose in health? It's a local subject, sir. We have our own side to evolve. We have our own way of city development, city planning. We have our own fights, we have our own difference, we'll sort it out. But who are you to monitor and intervene? Restore our constitution back. Restore our constitution what it was. Move away from the various amendments you did. All amendments towards centralization of power, man. Everything, every nook and corner. The autonomy of these institutions have been curbed. For research, you have to go to Delhi now. You have to get approval from Delhi. Some dumb fellow will sit there and ask you to do a prehistoric study. Huh? Yeah. What about modernity, man? What about the youth? What about the progressiveness? What we vouched for? What about the scientific temper our founding fathers did? Right? So it's high time that you got to get oriented on that particular aspects of financial independence, financial sovereignty, financial sustenance from the clutches of the union. So then we'll have our own surplus budget to deal with first-gen city, new-gen city, and whatever may be, with our taste, with our style, with our cultural embedded to a successful federal nation. Thank you.